What is up, Jamily? This is JamiroFan2000 here with yet another episode of the Jamiroquai Minute, the news roundup for the week of April 15th, 2018. So let's get right into the news. And starting off this news roundup, I thought I'd talk about the first of two concerts that happened this past week, with Jamiroquai starting its U.S. leg of the Automaton tour for 2018 down south of the border at the Mexico City Arena, and of course Mexico City, Mexico. And Jamiroquai did not disappoint in this concert. They performed about a 15-track set list, with the biggest takeaway from this concert being we had two live set list returns of classic Jamiroquai songs, namely the tracks Use the Force and Main Vein, and Jamiroquai knocked these new performances of these songs out of the park. Based off all the social media activity and pictures from the gig, Jamiroquai was absolutely amazing. I did make a playlist over on the YouTube channel, over on my YouTube, with the playlist of all the fan videos that are so far available from fans that were at the Mexico City gig down in Mexico City, Mexico. Also, there is about two full gig recordings from fan recordings of the gig, so be sure to go over to YouTube and check those out, and when you can in your free time. And in TV alert news, Jamiroquai, after playing Mexico City a few days later, ended up showing up for the first time in nearly 7 years on U.S. late-night television by performing out in California at the Late Late Show with James Corden. And I and a few other Jamiroquai fans speculated that Jamiroquai would probably be playing something more of a radio-friendly song in their performance on the Late Late Show, given that they haven't promoted the album here relatively in the United States, and going for something more that might be picked up by the American music mainstream. But Jamiroquai surprised us all by performing the track Automaton. They performed the title track of Automaton on the Late Late Show, and they did an amazing job in this performance. And JK was all white clad, almost minimalist, with a white tracksuit with his Automaton hat, and not to mention there were absolutely amazing neon fans that adorned the stage as they performed Automaton. And there were a lot of backstage pictures and videos that came out of their disappearance on the Late Late Show. But don't you fret, if you didn't see this performance in your free time on U.S. television, it is now available over on the Late Late Show with James Corden official YouTube channel. So go over to YouTube and check out that great performance of Jamiroquai's first real late night appearance on U.S. television in nearly 8 to 9 years. And as this weekend was a very busy tour weekend for Jamiroquai, I also thought I'd mention that Jamiroquai last night played the weekend one of the Coachella, on April 13th. On Friday, Jamiroquai played their first of 2-day residency appearances at the Coachella Music Festival in Indio, in California, with Jamiroquai performing a hell of a highly energetic set at Coachella. And of course, the Coachella Festival weekend one, all the concerts were being promoted to be live streamed on the YouTube social media platform. So if you get a chance, it was live streamed on YouTube, but for some weird reason, their archived VOD is not up yet available on YouTube. But some fans on Facebook have uploaded the full live stream from the Coachella Music Festival, and so be sure to go over to Facebook and check that out. But as for the set list from their Coachella Music Festival appearance, as I said, it was a highly energetic performance. Probably some of the most amazing performing and JK vocalization I have ever seen, at least in a North American live performance. Jamiroquai did an amazing I'd say about maybe a 15-16 track set list. That we did see Main Vein and the most recently before mentioned Main Vein and Use the Force get played at this gig, and Jamiroquai just absolutely nailed this out of the park. Not to mention, Jamiroquai did hint earlier that day on social media that they would have a special guest appearing with them on stage at the Coachella Music Festival for weekend one, and sure enough, when they started performing the song, Dr. Buzz, the Dogfather, Snoop Doggy Dogg, or Snoop Dogg as he's simply known as now, came out and performed with a little bit of a liability, because apparently the sound person during their performance made Snoop Dogg's mic really low. So in the live stream, you can't really hear Snoop Dogg spitting, but apparently in that little interlude of Dr. Buzz, Snoop Dogg came out and basically just did some lines from his classic track, Gin and Juice. But it was really, really cool to see this unexpected collaboration between Snoop the Dogfather and Jamiroquai. The live stream, as I said, for Coachella Music Festival is currently only available up on Facebook. A few fans have uploaded it there, but when it becomes readily available on YouTube, be sure to check YouTube, and I'll be sure to put it up on the Jamiroquai subreddit, and of course talk about it here in a future Jamiroquai Minute episode when it becomes readily available. But yeah, if you get a chance, check out that concert, Coachella Music Festival Festival. Jamiroquai, absolutely amazing first weekend, and hopefully this will be the bar that they set themselves for the upcoming second half of the U.S. leg of the Automaton tour when they come back here in the fall. After they do San Francisco next week, and of course they do the second Coachella, they'll be back here in the fall in September, where I'm going to be in New York City seeing them live at the Forest Hill Stadium in Queens, and of course down in Florida when they play the Suwannee Halloween in October. But there is some opening for a potential of more U.S. tour dates to be announced for the East Coast, based off probably off the ticket sales of these pre-existing gigs. So if you can get a chance, go over to Facebook and check out the live stream with Jamiroquai live at the Coachella Music Festival from weekend 1. And finally, for this news roundup, I'd like to mention that our good friend and fellow Jamiroquai band member Derek Mackenzie, who had been doing recently been doing a bunch of drum clinic master classes around the recent Jamiroquai gigs. Derek Mackenzie will be doing a drum clinic, as I've talked about in a recent Jamiroquai Minute episode. Will be doing a drum clinic masterclass at the Boom Boom Room in San Francisco on April 16th, which is tomorrow. Tickets are currently still available for that drum clinic, so if you're an aspiring musician and want to learn from one of the masters on the drum set, be sure to go to www.boomboomtickets.com and get your ticket now, because tickets are probably just go really fast for this master class with Jamiroquai's consummate master drummer Derek Mackenzie. And that's it for this week's Roundup episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And links to everything I discussed in this Jamiroquai Minute, as always, in the description of this video down below, including links to the 2 summary posts of the two recent Jamiroquai gigs in Mexico City, and, of course, weekend 1 of Coachella Music Festival. I also made a YouTube playlist of all the fan videos from the recent Mexico City gig, including a lot of full gigs are going to be on that playlist, too. And everything else I mentioned in this episode, be sure to check that all down below as well. And Jamiroquai will be back on tour next week. Of course, Jamiroquai will be playing the Bill Graham Civic Auditorium in San Francisco, so expect all the usual coverage on the JamiroQuai subreddit, and of course here on the JamiroFan2000 YouTube channel a little time after the gig airs. And of course JamiroQuai will be playing the second day of Coachella Music Festival next weekend on Friday. And as always, this is JamiroFan2000, and I'll see you again really soon with another